And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to a Saturday edition of New Earth TV Live. So I'm happy that you're all here today. We got some exciting content that we're going to be sharing here on the program today. For New Earth TV Live, we're going to be going into a mass earth meditation. Then I'm going to be doing a group healing with everybody. Okay, so there's not going to be any individual requests today, simply because I just have a lot to cover today for New Earth TV Live. I'll also be talking about a specific topic, which is all about working more with the heart, not the intellect, right? Peace is found in the heart, not in the intellect. And then, of course, we're going to go into some general Q&A afterwards. Okay, so quite a bit that we're going to be talking about today. But first and foremost, we're going to go ahead and move into some announcements. Beautiful, sacred geometrical clothing, apparel, and accessories imbued with spirit source energy to heal, rejuvenate, detoxify, and strengthen the body. Shop now at healingcodeshop.com.
The latest revelation in alternative healing has arrived. The Healing Code Cards, a spiritual technology unlike anything else. Through the power of sacred geometry imbued with pure source energy, physical ailments can become eliminated and detoxified from your body. 36 cards specifically designed to work on the major areas of the body, encouraging natural recovery and increased vitality. Working with the cards are easy, and their healing results are profound. Download our collection of free sample cards so you can experience results for yourself. And don't forget to view our customer testimonials. Our printed Healing Code card deck is available now with shipping available worldwide. Visit our website at healingcodecards.com.
And of course, the brand new Patreon website is going to be debuting on February 1st. Okay, so this is a very, very big thing. Okay, so with my Patreon, this is what's going to be taking over the live private sessions. Okay, so the live private sessions have pretty much been all booked up now. I'm pretty much done with the private sessions with their bookings. The people that I do have right now, I have private sessions with them up until the end of April. So I'm pretty much all full with that. And I'll be completing all of those private sessions up until the end of April. And through February 1st, we're going to see the new Patreon website opening up. And we're going to have the brand new group private sessions, or what I refer to as the group Q&A sessions. The very first group Q&A session is going to begin this Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. Now, in order for you to attend, you have to go to the Patreon website on February 1st when it debuts, and then you sign up through a membership. Okay, and when you want to go for the group Q&A sessions, you want to sign up for the gold membership. Okay, so the gold membership will be $55 per month, and it gives you access to 4 of the group Q&A sessions per month. Okay, so there'll be a weekly group Q&A that'll take place every Wednesday from 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern, and repeating every Wednesday. Okay, there's also going to be a lot of content on the Patreon website as well too, from webinars and videos, articles, digital courses as well too, like the Body Regeneration Series, the Adronis Four-Face courses, the Akashic Records Home Study course, Law of Attraction Unleashed. All of these different courses will be available for the silver membership and the gold membership. So there's a silver membership where you're just getting access to the courses and the webinars and the content itself on Patreon. And then the gold membership is all of that plus participating in the weekly group Q&A sessions. Okay, so I hope I made that clear for everybody. If you have any questions in regards to the Patreon website to come, you can always drop me an email, or you can just go to newearthteachings.com, go to the contact page, and you can drop me a message there. But again, I'll be making a launch video for Patreon here, for the Patreon website, in the early morning of February 1st. So stay tuned to that on the YouTube channel here. Okay, so we're now going to go ahead and get started with today's broadcast. And I'm also getting some questions from people about the Healing Code cards as well too. Like Brad, all that's available right now is the digital edition. So I'm getting the digital downloads of the Healing Code cards, the body deck, the mind deck, and the energy deck. But Brad, when are the printed versions, the physical printed versions of the cards? When are they coming? So please pay attention to this, okay? Come March, on March, the Mind Deck printed edition will arrive. Okay? And in April, the Body Deck and the Energy Deck printed editions will arrive. Okay, this is already written on the website, but I know people don't really like to read a lot, so they kind of just skim through the website. Yeah, where's the cards? Where's the cards, right? So for those of you who are not seeing this on the website, that's the plan, okay? So March, I'm getting the Mind Deck. April, I'm getting the Body Deck and the Energy Deck to come through. So I'm also making the healing codes into a brand new business as well too. So I'm putting together a brand new business. It's actually going to be a separate business from New Earth Teachings. And I'm going to be doing that probably around early March. And basically what's going to be happening is that Healing Code Cards and Healing Code Shop is going to amalgamate into one website. Okay, so on one website you'll be able to get the Healing Code Cards. You'll also be able to get the Healing Code Apparel and everything that represents healing codes. So the healing codes will be amalgamated onto one website. That's going to be a ways down the road, I think. I don't think it'll probably be ready around April or so. But that's the goal, is to basically amalgamate everything into one website so it's easier to find everything, and then rolling out this brand new business with the healing codes. So I'm looking forward to that. So that is in progress right now. And like I said, the physical cards will be coming here in the springtime. Okay, March for the Mind Deck, and Body Deck and Energy Deck in April. All right, so please stay tuned for that. If you've already signed up to the newsletter on the Healing Code Cards website, you're already there. Okay, if you're already subscribed to YouTube, don't worry, you're going to get updates regarding the cards. Okay, so even if you're not subscribed to Healing Code Cards, don't worry, just be subscribed to this channel, and you'll be fine. Okay, and you'll know exactly when the cards come, because I know. Like, as soon as I did all these interviews with Janine, my entire subscriber list has just exploded. Like I said, I was basically selling out the cards within a couple of weeks. It was insane. I just wake up in the morning and I'm checking my emails, like, getting this huge list of customers. So it's great. That's wonderful. And because I want the cards to go. I want you guys to enjoy the cards. So this is why I've had to print out a lot more. So more cards are coming. Okay? And thank you again, guys, for your tremendous amount of support for my channel. Tremendous amount of support for the sessions I'm doing, for the healing code cards. You guys are friggin' awesome. Okay? I cannot thank you enough for all the support that you guys have been doing, especially over these last few months. It has been crazy good. Okay? You guys are super awesome. So thank you so much for that once again. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with today's broadcast. So what we're going to do first and foremost is we're going to do an earth meditation. So I'm going to change screens here. And so we have this visual here of the earth, CGI composite, I believe. And so you can utilize this as visualization if you want to work with it in that way. So we're just going to do our simple earth mass earth meditation, giving our love and appreciation to the earth right now. It's an amazing time to be alive here on the earth right now. We are now starting to see this amazing campaign of the trucker convoys, not only happening in Canada, but now it's starting to happen all over the world. There's other countries that are now starting to implement this enormous freedom trucker convoy. Now, the interesting thing about this as well, too, before we get into the meditation, is that this is all part of a counterforce operation. Okay, the counterforces were truly behind this entire trucker convoy situation, and then the public started to get on board with it. So they basically kind of work their magic behind the scenes, and now we have all of these truckers, not just in Canada, like I said, but all over. It's basically turning into a domino effect, right? Canada's kind of leading the charge, and then all these other dominoes are falling. So I'm very, very happy that my own country is leading the charge for this. This is pretty damn cool. But it certainly is a counterforce operation. This is all part of the counterforces striking back, working together just quietly behind the scenes to getting this started, and then the people in front of the scenes takes this ball and runs with it and just expands with it and lights the fire. It's kind of like the counterforce and saying, here you go, here's a match, put it on the fire, right? Put it on the logs. And now the people are blazing that fire. So this is all starting with a very, very powerful counterforce operation that the people are now taking into their own hands, and it's people-powered, and it's operating brilliantly. So we're going to see tremendous change upon the earth because of this incredible trucker convoy. And again, seeing this happening all over the world. And it's like I said, when we're looking at 2022, we are looking at the year of action, we are looking at the year of justice, and we are looking at the year of healing. And I would say the convoys represent all three of those. They're taking action, they're bringing forward justice, ending all of these mandates, and they're bringing forward healing because people are seeing such positivity erupt from this. And it's healing people's hearts, and people are getting behind it. All three of what I shared, of what 2022 represents and is going to continue to represent throughout 2022. So, let's take all that in. Let's give our love, let's give our happiness, let's give our joy to all the people that are working together, not just through the convoys, but through everything that's working to make this world a better place, to end all of the bottom-feeding corruption, the bottom-feeding agendas, and seeing them being completely wiped from the face of the earth, so that the people themselves reign supreme. So, let's go ahead now and just take a couple of deep breaths in, deep breaths out. And just relaxing yourself and breathing normally. Let's just work to keep our spine nice and straight. If we're seated now, keeping your spine erect. And I want you again just to see the planet Earth directly in your vision right now. Just imagining the planet Earth. If you cannot see her, just feel her. Feel her in her presence. Okay? And what I want you to do right now is I want you just to take both of your hands and I just want you to imagine like you're touching the earth. Okay? And this is a very, very simple meditation that we're doing today, is as we see our hands touching touching the earth, we're imagining that our hands are that of spirit. So we're seeing spirit. We're seeing light. We're seeing love. We're seeing happiness. And we're seeing peace that are made out of these hands. And these hands are just touching the earth and just holding the planet Earth right into the palm of our hands. And we're just feeling this beautiful white light glow emanating from the hands and just creating this beautiful, soft, white cocoon that is now completely enveloping the earth. And you see that cocoon with its tendrils, with its vortexes, going deeper and deeper into the earth. You're seeing these vortexes, these tendrils of energy from the cocoon that is going directly into the core of the earth. And seeing all of that energy move directly into the earth's heart. For these tendrils touch all lands. For these tendrils touch the oceans. They touch the northern and southern poles. And so you're looking at many thousands of these vortex tendrils going deeply into the earth, right into her heart. And I want you now just to feel the greatest joy that you have with the earth. When you look at the earth, what joy comes to your heart? When you look at your beautiful planetary mother, what happiness fills you? What love flows into you? We do not have to describe that with words. We only have to feel it. And so I want you just to feel all of that love, that joy, that happiness, and that peace radiating from your hands as you hold the earth in your palms. And you're seeing this cocoon of energy charge tremendously, becoming as bright as a star. You're seeing that light expand throughout the entire cosmos. This cocoon is now an illuminated cocoon, filled with your love, your joy, your happiness, your peace, and your compassion. And as all of that brilliant light shines throughout that cocoon, all of that light is now transferring through the tendril vortexes and is now moving deeper and deeper into the earth. And you're just feeling the entire earth being saturated with all of this love, all of this happiness, all of this joy, all of this peace, all of this compassion. And it's completely dissolving away everything that is corrupt. It is immediately dissolving away everything unnatural. It is completely dissolving away all the filth and debris that has been ingrained upon this earth for many thousands of years. And you, yourself, the one who is watching this right now, you're making a difference. Yes, you. You're making a difference right now by putting all of your love, all of your joy, all of your happiness, all of your peace, and all of your compassion into this cocoon web, through these tendril vortexes, directly into the earth, showing the earth how much you love her, showing how much you love all life upon her surface and within her body, showing how much you support her, showing how you personally can make a difference, because you are now empowered with this love, with this peace, with this compassion, and with this joy. And just fill the earth until it feels like she herself is becoming a bright, shining star. Right from her core, right from her center. And all of that brilliant, loving light is now spreading to the outside, filling her entire body. And now all you see is just this incredible burst of spirit white light that's even brighter than our own sun. And that's getting even more brighter. It's getting even more brighter than the central sun of this galaxy. It's like a powerful flare of spirit that completely illuminates the entire galaxy that we are in. And that incredible burst of spirit light is vanquishing all of that fear, all of that conflict, all of that debris, all of the lies and the manipulations, all of the corruption. It is flushing it out. It is dissolving it away. It is absorbing it directly into the light for that darkness to be brought into light. And now we're seeing that burst starting to dissipate, starting to come back, starting to fade and return back into the core, directly into the heart of Mother Earth. And now we're seeing that cocoon now starting to soften, starting to dim now. As we now take this time to give our final blessings to Mother Earth, giving her a blessing of what you would like to share with her right now, a blessing of true appreciation, a blessing of deep love and deep compassion for her. This is your mother, and she gives you everything without expecting anything in return. So she will not ask you for this, but I will ask you for this. And I will ask you, give back to your mother, who constantly gives everything to you without any expectation in return. Show her how much you love her. Show her how much you appreciate the beauty that is upon her. She is such a glorious world. She is more beautiful than we can even imagine. everything that is here, all of the life that is upon her surface, all the life that is in her body, all the beautiful scenes that many of us take for granted, the beautiful landscapes, the beautiful oceans, the true wonders of the world. She's hosting it all and does not expect anything in return. Do you see how loving she is now? Give back. Give back to her, because you will warm her heart in ways you cannot know. You will open her heart so much more in ways you cannot know. And the reward to doing this is far beyond anything in the material. It is the permanent reward. It is the reward of spirit. It is the reward of bliss. It is the reward of perfection. And let's take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. And slowly coming back now into the present moment. And opening your eyes now, if they were closed. And welcome back. So again, guys, let's just take a moment now to just look at this beautiful earth that is upon your screen right now. Even if it is just a photo composite, computer deposit nonetheless, it is our earth. Look at her beauty. Look at her divinity. This is your mother, everybody. This is your mother. This is the womb to which you are experiencing this life. She constantly gives to us. Constantly, constantly, constantly. Giving, 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 giving. She only wants the best for her children. So what are her children going to do? What are her children going to do for her now? What do they want to do for her, now that they know how much their mother gives to them? Well, that's going to be your call. That's going to be your decision. But let yourself give back to her. Don't you think she deserves it? All right. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining me with the Mass Group Meditation. So now, let me just turn on my light here, getting a little bit of flickers. There we go. So now, thank you, everybody, and thank you for contributions as well, too. I appreciate that. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go into the Healing Power group healing. Okay? So now I have a special task for you guys before we begin. All right? So what I want you to do is I want you to have a glass of water or bottled water with you before we begin the group healing, because we're going to involve that glass of water. Okay? It's going to be a blessing that you're going to do. And I'm going to just be invoking spirit light for you to put all of this healing spirit light directly into your glass of water or your bottle of water. And you're just going to slowly sip it. Slowly sip it down. Okay? And this is going to be part of the group healing with the healing power today. Okay? So I'll give you guys a minute. If you need to take a minute just to go and get yourself a glass of water. If you need to get yourself a bottled water, go ahead and do it. If by chance there's not one around you, don't worry. You can replay this recording and you can do it then. Okay? So we'll grab our glass of water now, because I'm getting a lot of requests here for people. Brad, I need healing for my body. My body is in bad shape, or my cousin is going through something bad, or my daughter's going through something bad. My son is going through something bad, my husband, my wife, etc. Okay? So this is why we do it in group healing capacity, so that everybody can do it and we all receive something incredibly glorious, beautiful, and healing throughout the group practice here. Okay? Okay, so I'll give you enough time now to get your glass of water. So all I want you to do right now is I just want you to hold your glass of water with 2 hands, okay? And just put it here in the center of your chest. So you're just holding that glass of water. And with this glass of water right now, I just want you to put your intention forward, okay? This also includes if you have an intention for somebody else, okay? So if you have an intention for a family member or a friend, that's okay. This water is also going to help them because it's going to work through you and it's going to go to them, okay? So with this glass right here, I just want you to feel the water inside, or if you have a water bottle, that's okay. Just feel the water inside. Make sure you have water. You're not having juice or coffee or anything like that. Hey, it needs to be water, guys, okay? Make sure it's water. Okay, and you're just feeling the liquid inside. And you're seeing this liquid as already one with your body. You have not drank it down yet, but it's already one with your body. Okay? And now with you connecting with the liquid, I want you to put your intention into the water right now. The water will be the vessel that holds the spirit light. What do you want this spirit light to do for you? That's the question I ask for you. What do you want the spirit light that will come into your water to do for you? Now you may say, Brad, I want to have the spirit light to heal my daughter, to heal my friend, to heal my family member. Okay? Put that into the water. It's going to come into your body and it's going to transfer through your intention to that person. Okay? So take a moment now. What do you want the spirit light that will be hosted through the water to do for you? Okay. So now here's the second thing that we're going to do. Okay? Holding your glass of water, left hand, right hand, doesn't matter. Okay? And with the other hand, you're just going to put your hand right here. Okay? And what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to go into the healing power. And I'm just going to send all of the spirit light to each and every single person that is watching right now. And you're going to feel that spirit light flowing through your hand and going directly into your water. Okay? So let's take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. And we will begin. And now, beloved children of God, beloved children of Spirit, once again affirm your intention through the water. Talk to Spirit now, through the water. sharing your intention that is truly heartfelt, that is filled with your trust, and that is filled with your faith. And that as you completely consume the water down to the last drop, you will know that what you have intended for Spirit to do for you will be done. For you are well, you are pure, you are divine, you are perfect to eternal life. Just taking little sips of it gradually. And when that water is finished, consumed, right down to the last drop, you will know that what you have intended for Spirit to do for you will be fulfilled. Okay? And so after you do that, tonight, before you go to sleep, have another glass of water. Just again, putting a second intention. What I have asked today for Spirit to do is fulfilled. Sipping that second glass of water just before going to bed. Once you have done that, put an intention for a very restful and very peaceful night's sleep. You will wake up in the morning and you will feel the effects of what you have asked for. Okay? Your love, your trust, and your faith will make that happen. All right. So that is the group healing, the healing power today. Okay? So I want you to, again, if you didn't get all of this, if you're just joining in right now, go back to the recording and do it again. Okay? You guys can do this again and again and again just through the recording. Okay? Everything is now. And you just have that water in your hands. You put that pure intention through the water. You bring Spirit into the water through your intention. And you affirm your intention, knowing that it is be done, knowing that it shall be done, for yourself or for someone else who you want to assist with. Okay? Very good. Thank you, everybody. I can feel you guys collectively just joining me with it. It feels great. I can feel all these kind of hands just linking together with my own as Spirit light was just flowing through the water itself. It's beautiful. Okay, it is done, indeed. So before we get into Q&A, guys, we're going to be getting into Q&A here in just a few minutes. So if you guys want to start putting your questions in here in the next few minutes, you certainly can. You can put your questions into the chat. And it's a general Q&A today. But before we get into Q&A, I'm going to be just talking about the discussion of peace is through the heart. It is not through the intellect. Okay? So whenever I have given my teachings in the past for you guys, because really they're not my teachings, they're Spirit's, I'm just the vessel that's giving them. A lot of us attempt to understand these teachings and these principles through intellect. Intellectually, I get what Brad's saying. Intellectually, I get what Spirit is saying through Brad as a vessel, and I intellectually understand. But unfortunately, that's not good enough. We have to go beyond the intellect. We have to realize that in order for you to set yourself free, the understanding of these teachings intellectually is not going to do the job. The intellect is not fit to helping you absorb what is truly being shared with you when you are clearing out the conflicts within yourself. The peace within yourself is always established through the heart, because the heart is the epicenter to the intelligence of Spirit. It is not the mind. The mind is of intelligent design, but the mind itself is not intelligence. So you're looking at a construct. You're looking at a matrix. You're looking at a framework. You're looking at this materialized tool. And beyond the mind exists the infinite intelligence. Exists God, exists the self, exists the creative forces. exists the unmanifest, exists the unconscious. But it is through that creative force, it is through that infinite intelligence that shines the light through the mind, so the mind can be the expressor. The mind can share this perception of us going free, of us feeling peace within ourselves, because now we feel harmony. But it is not the mind that does that. It is the great intelligence that works through the mind. The mind is but a vessel. Just as we look at our physical body represents a vessel. Our physical body itself cannot bring about happiness. Our physical body itself cannot be responsible for our joy, our peace, our happiness, our love, our compassion, and our ability to go free. We need to tap into that true intelligence that exists from the inside. And the heart is the epicenter to that intelligence. It goes back into the ancient yogic texts, such as the Upanishads, that talk about the idea that the spirit is the size of a thumb and a flame within the heart. And that is how we can perceive it. One of the things I do quite commonly in meditation, when I'm just going into a state of beingness, and I basically want to elevate myself even further through a simple visual, is I will just see a white flame in the back of my heart, the size of a thumb. And this flame does not flicker, and it does not smoke. It is simply a flame of light that is stilled. It's like looking at a candle flame that doesn't move, yet you see its light. You see its radiance there. And this can be used as a template to moving deeper into beingness. That you are using an object as a means to helping yourself calm the mind, relax the mind. Then we go beyond the mind and we go into beingness. Because beingness is never touched by the mind itself. But we have a template. We have an image. And that image is just bringing ourselves into a single focal point where we feel all the other thoughts dropping. And once we feel all the other thoughts dropping, we drop that image as well. And now we just go into stillness. And now we go into silence. For to be in beingness is no more different than having a daydream where there is no thoughts whatsoever. I could liken it to the idea of having a blank daydream. Another idea is like having the nature of conscious sleep without sleeping. So you are having a dreamless dream. You are having a conscious sleep where everything is blank and you're just staying in that blankness. Well, that is beingness. It is being able to completely quiet the mind. The mind has to go quiet. And so this is what we do. We work with the intelligence that is within ourselves, contained inside the heart, and we may focus on a single object, and that single object is just watching all of the other thoughts behind it fall away. And we may also start to do simple breathing, like heart rate variability breath, where we're using nasal breathing, breathing in and out through the nose, and doing heart rate variability, adding 2 seconds to our exhale, with no pauses in between. And so we work with the breath, and we can work with that simple template of a visualization. Like I said, I've shared mine here, with the idea of a stilled white candle flame that represents, to me, spirit light. And I just stay there. And I let all of the thoughts fade away. I was doing this last night. And just going into this pure state of beingness. And it's peaceful. It's so peaceful. It's so beautiful. It's just... That's what freedom is, everybody. Okay? We can certainly look at different levels to what we feel freedom is. When we look at the truck convoys in that sense, and we're seeing the end of an era, well, that's moving into something a lot more positive, yes. But is that true freedom? No. True freedom does not have an image attached to it. True freedom does not have an idea attached to it. But this is, again, a positive thing that's happening in the world, and it's a wonderful thing. And you can certainly use that positive event as something that you can use to counterbalance the negative. But again, many of us get confused when we look at the nature of positive energy. Because we get that common phrase quite often. Just remember to be very positive. Okay? And it's true. We want to use positive energy. But we're only using positive energy when our needle here on our scale is veering off more to the negative. So when we have a negatively oriented needle pointing to the edge of the negative side of the scale, we are now bringing in positive energy. And what that positive energy is doing is it's counterbalancing the negative, and it's bringing you here. It's bringing you to balance. So as I've talked about, the overuse of positive energy can actually be harmful to you. It's harmful to you because you become oblivious of everything else. You become ungrounded. You miss opportunities. Of course, it does feel really good to be positive, but that's not the idea. We're not here to be very positive. We're only using the positive as a medicine to bringing ourselves here, to bringing ourselves back into center. And now we are in balance. And this is exactly what the example of the BCR technique does, is you're using positive reinforcement to achieve this. You are using positive reinforcement to make sure that the needle is no longer pointing to the negative, that it's just going to the 0 point, that it's just aligning directly to the center. And when it's aligned directly to the center, you are now completely in the presence to eliminate all conflict from your body, to eliminate all conflict from your emotional body, to eliminate all conflict from your mental body, because you're here. What does it take for a trauma to impact you? It takes this. It's the fluctuations of polarity. It's the negative and the positive trying to fight itself, trying to bring about balance, but there's no balance being established because we're flip-flopping. We're going up and down. We're going up hills and we're going down valleys. We're going up hills and we're going down valleys. And that establishes no peace. It's like saying if I want peace, I need to have war. That doesn't work. Okay? It is not about one side fighting another. It is not about the good guys fighting the bad guys. It's not about saying the left is better than the right, or the right is better than the left, or good is better than evil, or evil is better than good, whatever it may be. These are all polarity consciousness. And that, again, is what the intellect is trying to convince you of. You have to do this, you have to do what's right, you have to fight for the good, you have to be good, blah, blah, blah. Even those who think that they're doing good, who really are doing misdeeds, will think that they're heroes. Because that's what polarity paints. That's what the intellect and the ego paints. It paints the impression of feeling that if you get behind polarity consciousness, that this is going to lead you into liberation. That is a delusion. The only balance point is when those two hemispheres are balanced. This is why the heart brings peace. It is not the intellect. The intellect is just too dumb. It doesn't know how to bring peace. It doesn't even know what peace is. Right? Because when I say to the intellect, you know what peace really is? It's silence, and it's stillness, and it's calmness, and it's emptiness, and it's unfathomable. Well, that feels completely illogical. I don't get it. And that's the nature of the ego. That's the nature of the intellect. It looks at things like a machine. It cannot get the idea of silence. It has to do something. It has to be dynamic. It has to move. It has to look at all these things. It has to examine. It has to analyze like a machine. But not your heart. Because when you're letting your heart step in, and you're letting these polarities return back to the center, and you stay there, what naturally comes over you is that peace, is that true freedom. The nature to be free involves you going beyond the world entirely. Your desire to be free and to be one in union with God, to be one with the union of the divine, involves such a commitment that transcends the world and everything in it, which means you will want to naturally go free more than anything else in the world. You will choose freedom over the world, which means God comes first, Spirit comes first, the divine comes first, my freedom comes first, and the world comes second. And everything in the world comes second. When you're looking at it in this way, you're seeing the true right-facing pentagram. You're seeing spirit first, and then you're seeing the elements beneath. But how this world has come about is that we've seen that pentagram flip. We've seen the inverts, where the material world and everything representing the world needs to come first, and then spirit comes second underneath that. And that is chaos. That is disharmony. That is war. That is pollution. That is manipulation. That is brother against brother, sister against sister. That is separation consciousness. That is the separate self. And that's what many of these inverted do. They will create these particular types of artificial systems, and they will wave an invisible flag that we are really not getting, although to them it's very visible. And that flag is the inverted pentagram. That is the inverted path. And that will bring nothing but chaos. And it's only when you know you take that symbol and you turn it the right way around. And you live by that. You live inside the heart. And this is what I talk about, from living in the inside. You're living inside the heart because you're at peace. If there's any conflict that comes to you, no problem. I'm not judgmental because I have a conflict coming together, but now I see it. And now I'll take care of it. Now I'll do BCR technique. Now I'll do cord removal healing. Now I'll do meditation. Now I'll do some breath work. Now I'll do my inner work. And I'll clear it all out. And now I'm back to peace again. So it's just like these things that are kind of nagging at us and gnawing at us, grabbing us by the shoulder here, and we just catch it. So, oh, okay, I see that. Let me take care of it. So we are clearing away the debris of the emotional conflicts, of the physical pain body, and of the mental traumas. As all of that gets cleared away, this is what's happening to you. And you're no longer concerned about the worries of the world, because all you want to do with the world is give it your love. All you want to do with the world is give it your compassion. All you want to do is that you see every single person as yourself. You no longer see a man or a woman, you see a soul in that body. And you bless that soul. And you're free. Doesn't matter what's happening in the physical world. The physical world is duality. But you're walking through it because you're casting the light of the non-dual. Because you're not fighting anybody. You've stopped fighting yourself. And so now you have nothing to fight. Nothing in regards to the nature of manifestation is there that would cause you to take up arms. That would cause you to put up your dukes or to grab a sword and a shield. All of that has left you now. Because you have known the true peace that resides within the heart, that the intellect can never touch, because it can never be familiar with it. So please keep this in mind as a reminder of when I do this work with you guys, when I share Spirit's teachings through you guys. Do not digest it with the intellect. Digest it with the heart and let it move you so that you therefore know the true freedom that is within yourself. Okay? Thank you very much, everybody. So we will now go ahead and take a moment and go into Q&A. So if you guys do have any questions here, personal or general in nature, or I should say semi-personal or general in nature, I'm not taking any personal questions. Okay? So personal questions can be saved for the upcoming group Q&A sessions that I'll be doing through the Patreon. Okay? Like I said, that's happening Wednesday, February 2nd, our first class, our first session. Okay? And that's going to be happening every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. You sign up for the membership, and you'll get access to the Zoom webinars where it will be held. Okay? All right, so let me just go through the chat here and just see if we have any questions as I scroll up the list. Okay, Joyce says, where is this central sun you speak of? In the meditation, I was talking about the central sun of the galaxy, right? So when you're looking at the galaxy itself, you notice that in the center of the galaxy, you have all that white light. Well, that would be what I've termed as the central sun, okay? The brightest sun within our galaxy is contained at the center of the galaxy. So this would represent the nature of the central sun, as I was referring to. Okay? Thank you, Joyce. Okay, just going down the list here a bit more. Superman Nen says, question, how do we stop people who send distortion emails to other people? Well, it's not about stopping them, right? Because now you're trying to be an enforcer. You're trying to be an enforcement. All you're doing is you're educating people. You are informing them of such things. You're educating them. Rely on people to resolve their own problems. Do not feel like you have to take justice into your own hands and feel that you have to be responsible from stopping the perpetrators that are doing such things. Okay? So when you're noticing that there's a lot of, again, I don't really want to use that word because of censorship, but just looking at distortion emails that are explicit in that way. Okay? Then, like I said, all you're doing is you're just educating people. But first of all, as you're educating people, you're firstly just making peace with everything. Like I said, when we get into the polarity war, there's no end to it. So if I'm mad at a person because they sent me an explicit email, right? Well, then I've gone into war with them. I've immediately been hurt by what they've done, and now I'm acting out of abuse. Okay? You guys got to catch yourself to see how you act when you look at these things. So I see an email in that sense, very explicit, maybe there's graphic content in it. Do I spend the rest of the day complaining about it? Or do I just delete the email and just go back into peace once again? And maybe I can educate a few people about it, saying, yeah, if you get this email, it's going to be explicit, so make sure you delete it. I've got it myself today. Just a heads up for everybody. Great. Done my service. Okay? If I want to go even deeper than that, I'll just basically tap into the person that sent the email, or the people that sent the email, and I'll just go into Spirit. Spirit, enrich them. Enrich them with the true education. Enrich them with their true light. Help them to see past their errors, and let them contemplate their return to the divine. Okay? That's something else I can do, where I can go a lot deeper into that because I'm in the heart, right? Spirit, I contemplate this one so that they can return to the divine to which you abide. Let it be done. Okay? Don't go to war. Because as soon as you go to war and say, well, Brad, this person's doing this, so I'm going to counterattack. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're fighting. You're wounded. You're hurt. You have the trauma of abuse. And you're the victim. And here's the aggressor. Okay? It's the same coin, both sides. Victim, aggressor. Victim, aggressor. You're playing a victim role because you're offended by what that person has done. Rather, you delete the email, you talk to spirit within your heart, you educate people and saying, guys, if you're getting this email, just let you know there's graphic content in it. Be mindful of this. I would suggest clearing it away. Have a great day. Great. The problem's nipped in the bud. We left it to spirit to take care of. Spirit, go to this one. Help them to contemplate their return to the divine. And let it be done. I do not take personal ownership for another person's doings, for another person's deeds. Who am I to do that? That again is just following an inverted pentagram path. I gotta go to war. This person's doing this. This person's gotta pay. Well, there you go. You're in war. And then you come to me a little bit later on, you're wondering, why am I going through all this suffering? Why am I going through all this pain in my body? Why am I aching? Why am I being so stiff? Why am I being so sore? Why are my emotions nightmarish? Because you've gone to war. Because you've been fighting. Because you see yourself as the victim, and you see the other person as the aggressor, and you're trying to see yourself as this chosen hero to bring them down into the nature of justice. Well, guys, that's not what justice is. We are so completely consumed with the erroneous idea of what we feel justice is. Do you know what justice is? Justice is the process of returning everything to balance. Okay? It is the action process that is bringing everything back to balance. So here's an idea. When I have a lot of negative energy and I'm working with positive energy and it's coming back together, what's happening right now is justice. Okay? And that brings it back into balance. Justice is the action that is bringing everything back into balance. Okay? It's not about fighting. It's not about killing. It's not about murdering. It's not about destroying. It's about returning everything back into balance. And it's the process of that happening. That's the nature of justice. This is why justice has always been perceived as scales. We're balancing the scales. We're not destroying people. We're not annihilating things. We're just bringing things back into balance. And we let spirit take care of it behind the scenes, because that is the force that makes that happen. Okay? Thank you for your question. Okay, so Lisa asked this question, will Mr. T of Canada ever come out to resign, or is he gone forever? He's pretty much out of the picture now, guys. Okay, he's not going to be around much longer. Basically, like I said, as I said in the beginning of the broadcast, that when you're looking at the convoys themselves, they are a counter force operation. Okay, they started off that way, and they're working together with the people, and now the people are running with it. They're lighting the torches, they're creating this big bonfire, and now they're putting the movement forward. Okay, but it all started off as counter-force strategies. These are the strategies of the alliance. This is the strategy of the counter-forces. This is the strategy of the white hats, gray hats. They are completely behind the trucker convoy movement, 100% of the way. And now the people are latching onto it, and now they're taking it, and now they're running with it. And that's a wonderful thing to see. Okay? This is what much of the corrupt fear the most. They're afraid of the people waking up and standing up against them. So what they will try to do is they'll try and think of some manipulation tactics, because they want to start wars, right? They want to start fights. They want to try and start divisions, because so many people have tried this in the past, where they've done a lot of movements, these big movements that get a lot of people, and all of a sudden there's sabotage, because someone gets violent, someone gets angry, someone becomes destructive. And now they catch that. Oh, we got this person. Look, see, it's a hate mob. That's all it is. Okay? They will try to do that for this. They will try to exploit the convoys to actually make it look like they're savage terrorists. Okay? So this is where you're bringing your love to those people. Okay? You're honoring the convoys, you're bringing them love. Let spirit surround them, let spirit shroud them, and that everything is done peacefully and in harmony, so that the force of justice comes together to bring balance back to everything. Okay? Because that's truly what's happening behind everything. Its energies just returning itself back into balance. Okay? The world will still be the world. It'll still go through its shifts here. But like I said, as we see this, we can use this as a positive momentum in helping ourselves to return to balance. Okay? That's what's most important. So thank you, Lisa. Okay? Like I said, guys, as I've talked about in the New Earth Insights webcasts, that this year, 2022, pretty much represents the end of the corrupt. Okay? They're all going down, because that is, again, part of the cycles. It's exactly what the signposts are telling me constantly. They're going down, they're finishing. The people are going to latch on to this idea of this movement of the truckers. And it's not just going to be the truckers as well, too. You're looking at farmers, you're going to look at business owners that are going to be temporarily shutting down their businesses, and they're going to be lining up and joining everybody. Okay? You're going to have people coming out of their homes, and they're going to be spending nights out in the street, and they're going to be protesting alongside the truckers. Right? This is going to affect everybody. This is going to affect all walks of life. You may actually start to see law enforcement people being able to stand down and stand with the truckers as well, too. This is going to involve all the walks of life. Okay? There are going to be people who are going to stand. You'll have police officers who will stand with them. You'll have farmers that will stand with them. You'll have business owners that will stand with them. You'll have people from all over standing with them. This is the lighting of the torch. And it even goes back to that old saying as well, too. The revolution will not be televised. Do you see any big mainstream media networks really showing this in great capacity? No. They're being completely quiet. They're hiding 90% of surveillance footage so that you can't see all these truckers. Right? The only way you're really seeing it is through the independents and for people that are basically going live on Facebook or other social media, and you're seeing this. Okay? The revolution will not be televised, because that's exactly what we're seeing. We call it a freedom convoy, but it's a revolution. Okay? It's exactly what I was talking about in late 2020 when I said people are going to form a revolution. That revolution was starting in 2021, and now it's escalated to this point in 2022 with the idea of the trucker convoys. And now other countries are doing it as well, too. So you're seeing an incredible transformation. You're seeing human revolution. And it's a peaceful revolution. That's the good news. A lot of people were fearing civil war. People will go to civil war and say, I'm sorry, guys, that's not going to happen. Okay? If human beings are going to war and fighting with each other, you're never going to get out of this. You have to resolve all of this with peace. So what many people think, and there's astrologers that were thinking that as well, too, this is going to lead to a human civil war. No. It's going to lead to a civil revolt. It's going to lead to a civil revolution. But it's not going to lead to a warfare. It's not going to be about people trying to kill a bunch of people and all that stuff. It's not about that. Right? That's not the type of civil war that we're talking about here. We're looking at civil revolution. We're looking at a civil stand. We're looking at a civil movement that is going to completely end the rule of the corrupt. And that's what we're seeing. Okay? So thank you, Lisa, for your question about Mr. T of Canada. All right. So let's go down the list here a bit more. Okay, JC has a question here. Hi, Brad. I'm ready to connect with my guides. Is there something I can do to facilitate this? I feel I'm on the cusp. Meditate. Okay? Meditate, and if you really want to connect with guides, that's okay. But really what I've recommended people is go to the higher self first. Go to spirit first. Go to God first. Okay? Because that is the true peace that resides within you. It's not a vibration. God is not a vibration, guys. Okay? Everything else within the mind is a vibration. But when you're going beyond the mind, there are no vibrations. There's only presence. Vibration is a mind concept. Okay? Frequency is a mind concept. God has no vibration. God has no frequency. God has no energy. God simply is, and that is it. Okay? So when you go into that heart of peace where you are still, where you are silent, where you are empty, and you are abiding here in the center, inside the heart, you're not going into a vibration. Okay? That is wrong thinking. When you're going to God, there is no vibration. Nothing's vibrating. Okay? Nothing's in frequency. There's no frequency blasts. It's still. It's silent. It's empty. And that's the easiest thing to get into. So this is what I would suggest first. So we could refer to that as the higher self. We can refer to that as the soul. More importantly, we see that as God. We see that as spirit. What I'm doing right now as well, too, and I'll mention this and I'll get back to your question here in a second, JC, okay? What I've decided to do right now to really connect a lot more deeper to God is I'm actually doing a lot more bhakti with the Divine Mother God. So I've basically made a choice in regards to making a personable relationship with God. And I would refer to her as the Mother, as the Divine Mother. So what I'm doing here, it's going to be coming in the next couple of days. I've already ordered this really big, beautiful artwork that to me really represents the Divine Mother. And I'm going to put that on my wall. I also have garland that I'm going to be personally blessing with the love for the Mother. And I'm going to be putting that up against the poster, the frame picture that I'll have. And I'm going to be buying a plant, flowers, to show my devotion to the Divine Mother. Okay? So of course the Divine Mother does not need any of these things, but it's the symbolism. It's the symbolism of the gratefulness, of the devotion that you have through bhakti that you're giving to the Divine Mother, because that's what brings about your personable relationship to God more. Okay? So that's what I'm personally doing, right? You may talk to quite a lot of people, yogis and so forth, who are doing the same thing. They're into bhakti yoga. And so they're working with devotion. They're devoting themselves to the Divine Mother or the Divine Father, right? And they are giving their devotion to God because that is their personable relationship to God. Like I said, God doesn't need any of those things, but that is your connection to God. That is your connection to the divine, and it's showing you your devotion and your commitment and your love you have for God. And that is going to expand your connection to the divine in ways that cannot be expressed. This is what I would suggest you guys do. I connect with the Divine Mother because I feel a lot more connected to the feminine than I do in the masculine. At times I've said father, and many times more I've actually said mother behind the scenes, right? Talking about the mother. And that is what feels a lot more stronger to me. I love the Divine Father, of course, as well, too. But the Divine Mother is much more suited for me. So that's what I'm using in regards to my own personal devotion to God. Seeing God as the Divine Mother. And offering these gifts because God is constantly giving me gifts all the time. So it's my way of giving back, of contributing, of that givingness. And that's building the relationship with God. And now I know that God is always with me, always within me, always around me. And that strengthens the connection to the divine through you. Okay? So that's what I would suggest. Now, JC, if you do want to just go right to your guides as well, too. Well, what I would suggest firstly is that you're working with meditation to really create a beautiful aura. Okay? And your aura is that of pure love. Now, this is something for those of you who are working with guides, because I have worked with people with guides. Some of these guides have not been the greatest of guides, or they may impose themselves as guides. But in fact, they're not. They can be a little bit more of a bottom feeder. Okay? So here's what you do, is you create your space. So maybe that's your bedroom, maybe that's your living room, whatever it may be. And you're putting up all these things within your space that brings your loving energy into a strong potency of purity. Okay? So you may have pictures, you may have artwork, you may have objects, you may have pictures of family, pictures of best friends, your children in that sense. You may have your animal companion pictures as well too. But you're putting all these things up in your environment that really just bless your heart. And you're creating a love aura. And now that you're creating this love aura because you're in a very peaceful space, like I said, maybe you're doing BCR technique as well too. You got all that love energy flowing through. Good. Now expand that love energy and put it through the walls of your space. Let every molecule of your walls and your floor and your ceiling be completely ingrained with this love energy that you cultivate through the BCR technique, for example. And if you're doing this through meditation, where you're just cultivating your love and you're spreading it out throughout your entire space, make your entire space like a dampening field that represents a very powerful love aura. And now that you have this very powerful love aura established, call out to your guides. Okay? So you can step into my space, any of my guides, because I would like to meet with you. I would love to speak with you. Please come into my space through the love aura that is here. And that is who you know are your genuine gods sent by Spirit. Okay? Intruders won't be able to enter it because there's nothing deceitful about your love aura. It is pure. It is genuine. It is divine. And intruders are none of those things. They are impure. They are disingenuine. They are away from the divine because of their own misdeeds. They can't enter your space. It's like a brick wall. So now you're calling in your spirit guides. You're meditating. You're going into the low idle state. You're going into the subtle state of being, heart rate variability. You're feeling that. You're feeling your hands getting warm, getting heavy. You're feeling your body tingling. You may feel the astral movements happening. And you feel light. You feel very, very light. Got all this lightness flowing through you. And now you're going very, very deep and saying, yeah, I can start to see geometry now. I can start to feel energy around me. I feel very, very light. And I can perceive sensitively everything that's around me. Now, here's the opportune time to bring in your guides. Here's my love aura. Here's my space that's saturated with my love. Genuine, natural, loving space. Come on in. Okay? Now you'll know who your true guides are because they were sent by God. Sent by Spirit, sent by the divine, sent by Source, whatever name you want to call it. If you don't want to call it God, don't call it God. Call it the Creator, call it Source, call it the divine, call it the One, whatever you want to call it. I call her the Divine Mother because that's my personal relationship to her. But my personal relationship to her is not going to be your personal relationship. You have to discover your own. Okay? Thank you, JC, for your question. Hope that helps you. Okay. Nancy P. asked, that knowing deep inside is my intellect. No. Intellect can't go deep, Nancy. Intellect doesn't know how to go deep. Intellect is everything that's on the surface. Okay? It's our thoughts. Right? Our thoughts are just bouncing all across the surface because that's all part of the intellectualism. Why is this happening? What's going on here? Oh, wait, there's a hole here, blah, 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 blah. It's like these little worker ants that are just scattering about trying to work everything out with the bits and pieces of reality. Whereas when you go inside the heart, you're not working with intellect. You're working with intuition. You're working with love. You're working with pure consciousness. Okay? Like I said, guys, I'm basically attempting to tell you not to use intellect when you're doing inner work. Okay? If you're using intellect, you're using it for the most bare bones of reasons. Here's my notebook. Okay? Here's what I can put my intentions in first and foremost before I'm doing a session. Okay? So if I'm doing BCR technique, I'm writing down the situations with the bodies. Physical body, emotional body, mental body. Okay? I've got all of that written down, so that's part of my intellect. So it's very bare bones. And now I go in and I start doing my routine. I'll start doing some deep breath cleansing, right? Cleansing breaths. I'll do that a few times, and I'm feeling pretty good. I can kind of feel like the active calm. I kind of feel like I'm sitting on the ocean, and there's bobbing waves right here. Okay. Now I'll go to phase 2 breath. Now I'll go to heart rate variability. Repeat, 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 repeat. I'll do that for 5, 10, 15 minutes. Now I'm buzzing. Now my heart feels warm. My skin feels tingly. My hands feel warm and heavy. And now I feel this kind of floaty feeling. I can feel like I'm spinning right now. Guys, that's not intellect. Intellect can never create that. Intellect can't create. Okay, guys? This is the important thing you have to understand. I want to intellectually create something. You can't. Intellect is incapable of creating. The only thing that's capable of creating is divine intelligence. It is the intelligence within you that is shining that light, coming through the body principle, to therefore give you the notion of an idea, give you the notion of a creative spark. And now the thought is trying to intellectualize those creative aspects to put it into practicality, to make that a creation. Okay? You cannot get raw creation from intellect because intellect is never present. You can never experience the intellect presently. It does not know what is happening. It's only looking at things that have happened. And it's looking at all that data. Right? So it's like, again, it's seeing this burst of light and like, oh, now all these sparkles are coming down. And now they're trying to make sense of these little sparkles coming down. Oh, okay, wait, it's this, and this, right? It's like these little worker ants or these little worker bees just flying around, buzzing around, trying to examine, trying to analyze, trying to get the idea of what's going on here, and now trying to put it into practicality. That's how limiting the physical world is. It's very limiting if you have an intellectual world. It's so tiny. It's so puny. It's not even a fraction of what true reality is. You're missing the 99.99999999999% of what reality truly is, and it's not through the intellect. It's through the heart. It's through love. It's through spirit. It's through divine infinite intelligence. That's the true reality, because that's what's permanent. Okay? There is no sense in you attempting to waste your time and dedicating so much of your life into things that are impermanent and things that will die. It's about looking at the permanence of all things. When I'm looking at a person who I love, I see their spirit. I see their soul. I know that they are permanent. I know that they are eternal, that they are infinite, that they are immortal, and that they will always be. And that's who I see. It's what I see when I look at my fiance, right? She is spirit. She is eternal. She is infinite. She will always be. That's beautiful. The physical body at some particular point, maybe, yeah, of course, it's a beautiful thing, but at some particular point, it will wilt away. It will perish. My body will do that. Everybody's body will do that. So if I'm attaching to something that is a body, well, then I'm just going to lead myself to disappointment. Because what happens when that body dies? What do I do then? I've dedicated so much of my time, and now here it is. It's perished. So what am I going to do? I become heartbroken. I become broken inside because I've spent so much of my time looking at mortal things. I've been looking at impermanent thoughts, and I've been looking at the mortal things of man. And now everything just breaks down and starts to perish, and I'm still here. So now I go through a great heartbreak. I go through great disappointment. I go through regret. And this is what happens to the majority of the people on this planet, because they invest themselves in impermanence. And they suffer. Because now that thing's gone. Now it wilts away. Now it's something that comes and goes. But when I invest myself in God, when I invest myself in spirit, when I invest myself in love, when I invest myself in peace, when I invest myself in the non-dual, to that which is permanent always, I'm never unhappy. I'm never sad. I'm never broken. Because that which I have invested my energy in is everlasting. It's infinite. It's eternal. It's immortal. It is permanent. Now I'm always happy because this is where happiness comes from. Happiness is intelligence. It's not the intellect. The intellect is the worker bees. The intellect are these little impermanent things just going around trying to make sense of a physical world. But the physical world is not the entirety of reality. It's not even a fraction. It's less than a fraction. Do you see what I'm saying here, guys? Is this really clicking into you? Do you get it with what I'm sharing with you? Because that's what's going to set you free. It's going back to what Jesus once said. Do not spend so much time gathering up physical treasures, where thieves come to steal and moths will eat up and wilt them away. Instead, store up treasure in heaven. For where your heart is, that is where your devotion to perfection, to God, will be also. Right? So you're dedicating yourself to the permanence. You're storing up treasure in heaven. Where your joy is, that is where your heart will be also. That's what I'm meaning to say. Okay? That's it. That's what gives you eternal life. Because your mind is on eternal life. Your awareness is on eternal life. Your devotion is on eternal life, that which is permanent. And that is how you have eternal life. Because you are eternal life. You are not these little bitty tiny analytical things trying to examine the crumbs of reality, thinking that you're getting somewhere. You're going to take more trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of years just to figure out a little bit of something. That still isn't going to work. So when is enough enough? When is it time now for you to put down all of the impermanences? And we just put it down like we're looking at a tool. We're a child in a sandbox, and we're playing with the impermanent sand. But we finally step out of the sandbox, and we come into the peace. We come into the freedom. We come into spirit. We come into God. We come into source. We come into the divine. We come into that which is always. Here and now, forever, eternal, infinite. Okay, let's please keep that in mind. Okay, so this is why I say, you can never know deep with the intellect. You will always be on the surface with something intellectual. To go deep is to be with spirit. To go deep is with love. To go deep is with peace. To go deep is with permanence. Okay? DM. Hi, Brad. My cue was about a work offer I got that's now paused because of the vaccine mandate. Assuming mandates are soon lifted, do you see me actually getting on hold offer? I see you getting something better, DM. Now, like I said, I don't really do personal sessions, but because I've had a lot of people ask me questions like this, do I see myself getting a better or getting that offer that was originally on hold? No, I see you getting something a lot better, DM. Okay? Something even better is going to come along through all of this. Something much more rewarding. Something much more enriching. Okay? So let that come. Keep the doors open. Watch these amazing things that are going to come to you. Okay? Thank you, DM. Okay, so there's a question here about the healing code cards. Again, it's kind of personal, right? So some people are asking, Brad, what kind of healing code card deck should I get? Well, what do you want to work on? What's bothering you right now? Okay? If I have a stiff back or if I have headaches a lot in that sense, then maybe I'll look towards the body deck. If I want to work with my emotional and mental well-being, I want to clear a lot of that stuff out on the surface, I want to clear a lot of surface emotional debris, well, then maybe I'll work with the mind deck. If I really want to purify the body, physically, mentally, and emotionally, well, then I'll work with the energy deck. What I would suggest is just get all three decks, because they will all serve you all together. They're all meant to work together in harmony. Okay, that's how they're built. Okay, so intelligence is within the design. That's the spiritual intelligence. Okay. So again, guys, please no personal questions. We save those for the group Q&A sessions. Okay, on Patreon coming up this week. Okay. Tala here asked the question, will the citizen data system that Boris Johnson and all others probably will go through? It certainly will, Tala. It might take a little bit of time, but that is going to be something that's going to peak. Okay, so be aware of that. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of compliments from you guys about my interview with Janine. I had a great time with her. I basically would consider Janine like a soul sister, right? We had a really great conversation yesterday. It was kind of surprising because I thought we were going to go live with everybody yesterday. I said, okay, well, Janine, we're going to go live. We're going to do questions. So no, this is just it's kind of a taped interview, and it'll be put up later. Like, oh, okay, well, I better, I better contact everybody because I was telling everybody this would be a live webcast. So that's why I kind of did the last minute message yesterday before doing the interview with Janine, just letting you guys know it was an interview and it was not a live webcast. Okay, but I will be getting Janine on again down the road, maybe next month or two, to come on here onto New Earth Teachings and do another interview with me, and we'll do some more Q&A. Okay, so that'll be coming within the next couple of months. But glad you guys enjoyed it. It was really, really fun. I enjoyed it a lot too. Okay. Okay, let me just go down the list here a bit more, guys. Just bear with me. Okay, Ron Emerson has this question. Is Saint Germain an ascended master? He helps people in spirit. Ascended master is kind of a personable term. It really depends upon how you put it in that way. But he is a personality consciousness that works together, and he's working together in the unseen forces, you could say, to help out people. So he's dedicating himself to offer guidance and help and healing to people. So some people could consider that an ascended master, but it's a very, very personable term. So I would certainly refer to him as a personality guide, a personality consciousness guide who's helping others that are in alignment with his energy. Absolutely. Okay. So let's go down the list here a bit more. Okay. Yep, someone's asked me about Nasara. Guys, I actually just talked about Nasara last week. Okay, if you go on to last week's New Earth Insights, not the one I did on Tuesday, but I believe it was the one before that, I was talking about Nasara Gesara. Okay, so I don't personally subscribe to that. Just in a nutshell, something that's coming is going to be a lot better than that, okay? But I do not subscribe to Nasara Gesara at all, okay? I haven't. Even when I was channeling Adronis back in the day, he never bought into it either and said there is no real Nasara Gesara. There's going to be other prosperity funding systems that are going to be even greater than that. That's going to come forward. So don't set your expectations on something that is right now more of a pipe dream than anything else. Look into the idea that true prosperity funding is coming. But like I said, money is not going to bring you happiness, guys. You're still looking at an impermanence. Okay? Yes, it's great when we're not going to be able to pay taxes anymore, right? Income tax will be abolished. A lot of taxes will be abolished. A lot of regulations will be abolished because a new financial system is going to come here between late 2022 and early 2023. Okay? And yes, there will be some prosperity funding in the way, but that's not going to bring you happiness. Okay, that's bringing balance to something, but that's not the nature of happiness. You're looking at scenarios, you're looking at situations. Those are intelligent designs, not intelligence. Remember where true happiness comes from, okay? And I'll just give you guys that reminder. Debbie444 says, will we get back the money that has been taken from us through taxes? Yes, and then some. Okay, so there's my answer to that. Yes, and then some. Okay, absolutely you will. Like I said, just as I said, income taxes will be scrapped here very soon. Taxes of different kinds, regulatory taxes, etc. A lot of that is going to be scrapped. It's not going to be about taxes. It's moving into a brand new financial system where everything is being reset. All currencies become equal, right? And there's prosperity funding that comes together. So again, I don't have the exact big intellectual picture to tell you guys about that. It's only just giving you little bits of pieces here and there. As we get closer to that time, maybe we can look into that. But again, guys, I'm not a financial consultant. I'm not a financial advisor. People have asked me about the stock markets and cryptocurrency, guys. That's not my area. Okay? Talk to the financial advisors, but I can give you the idea of situations that those are going to skyrocket, and those are going to be more of the replacements of the currency upon the planet. But in regards to markets and predicting, no, I don't do that stuff, okay? Simply because I don't care about it. That's the whole idea. Find somebody who cares about it and who has a good expert view of it and you can talk to them if that's something you're passionate about. I'm not passionate about it at all. Okay. This is from Sean Ryshak. Sean says, "Hi, Brad. Can you tell us more about the giants that used to live on the earth?" And I think we'll end this with the last question. Okay. So the giants have been here for a very, very long time. Okay. There is actually an old Adronis video that I did called Giants of Meldak. Okay. So there have been both terrestrial and extraterrestrial giants that have come here in the ancient past. The Bible has referred to them as the Nephilim. When I went down to South Africa back in 2019, I was actually seeing evidence of these giants. Okay, there was a place that my good friend Michael Tallinger was taking our group to, and we saw a gigantic footprint embedded in stone. Okay, basically at mud. It was basically fossilized, a fossilized footprint that must have been maybe like 5-6 feet long. It was incredible. And there was also what we would think was a gigantic rock within proximity of that footprint. But looking into that through intuitive discovery, that was actually a giant's heart. Okay, and this rock was probably about 15-20 feet in radius. It was very, very big. So we're looking at giants here that were anywhere from 20 feet, I would say maybe like 10 feet, 15 feet, 20 feet, 50 feet, 100 feet. Some of them could even be a mile high. But many of them would not succumb to the nature of the physics within physical reality because they would exist in different dimensions. A lot of the mile-high giants in that sense could almost be seen as celestials, and they would not actually coexist in the same plane to where the gravity is weighing them down. They'd be part of another plane that's actually having lighter gravity to which they could exist. So that's, again, something else that science hasn't really been able to catch up with, because you can actually go into different dimensions that have lighter pockets pertaining to the nature of gravity effect, where you can actually have giant creatures, giant men, giant women, etc., giant humans. But again, they were around, they've been on the earth for a very, very long time, way before the dawn of man. They were coexisting with the dinosaurs, and even the dinosaurs, in that sense, the idea of their extinction is scientific dribble, because that's incorrect. Dinosaurs have actually been with us, even going back to the last hundreds of years. You'll actually find that there are certain ancient Asian paintings that actually depicted mankind riding on, or certain people riding on dinosaurs. That goes back to like 900 AD or like 800 AD in that way. And we're seeing like these kind of recent paintings of children and adults riding these dinosaurs, right, in Asia. So that's telling you that their whole idea of mass extinction events pertaining to asteroid bombardment that wiped out the entire nature of the dinosaurs is a bunch of bunk. Okay? It's true, there have been certain cataclysmic events that have happened throughout history that have basically wiped out the great majority of life on the planet, but there are always backups. Okay? Backups are always happening. A lot of those backups go into the inner earth. There are arcs that go and collect certain life forms that are near the level of extinction, and they're going into backups. In fact, the inner earth is like an archive, and it contains all of the intelligent design of life upon the planet. Everything is kept in archive. Everything is kept together in reserve. Everything is kept together in vaults. I was actually talking to Jared Rand about this when I did my interview with him. I said, yeah, we have a lot of backups. I said, Brad, you're absolutely right. That's it. Absolutely correct. Everything is backed up in the inner earth. It's like a vault. It's like a reserve. It's like an archive. So everything is backed up. Okay, giants live in the inner earth. Okay, a lot of them live in the inner earth. Some of them also exist through cave systems as well too, caverns and caves and deep catacombs within the earth. A lot of the giants live there. Okay, but there's so many stories to tell pertaining to the giants. Okay, there's friendly giants and there's giants that would eat men. There's giants that were very warlike and brutal and just very violent as well too. But there were giants that were also available to help humanity. They would actually have giants fighting other giants as well too, because some giants liked humans and some others didn't. And so there'd be a lot of fighting, and they've been all over every facet of the planet. Okay, you have giants in North America, you have giants in South America, you have giants in Europe, you have giants in Asia, you have giants in Africa, you have giants in Australia, you have giants in New Zealand, you have giants everywhere. They've touched every point of land there is on the planet. Okay, and just different shapes and different sizes. Again, some of them are terrestrial, some of them are indigenous, some of them are extraterrestrial, some of them came from Meldak, and they came here as well too. Some are even from Mars as well too. There could even be other giants coming from different star systems that may also be here, just hidden behind dimensional veils. They may be, again, in orbit above the Earth, helping people out. Okay, there's a lot of giant ET races as well too, right? When you look at Adronis, when I was channeling him, he was about 7 feet tall, right? I'm not sure if that's the same kind of giant, but that's still pretty tall. But there's other beings in that sense that are 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 50 feet tall. There's even beings that are like 6 inches tall as well too. Size doesn't really matter. There's various sizes. We have even beings that are this tall as well too, walking around the Earth in different dimensions as well. And sometimes they'll pop in to our dimension, okay? Being like pixies in that way. Or the Atacoma humanoid in that way is one other example. So like I said, guys, it's such a big discussion. I know I don't really have time to go into it, but absolutely. There have been all kinds of not just giants, but just beings of all different shapes and sizes that have touched our Earth. Basically, the Earth is where the entire universe of life exists. Right? Everything that you find, even in this sentient equivalent pertaining to life on this planet, has emerged from Earth in some capacity. Okay? Whether you're looking at felines, whether you're looking at reptilians, whether you're looking at amphibians, whether you're looking at avians, whether you're looking at mammalians, right? Whether you're looking at humans, all of that. It's all contained here on Earth. We all have the equivalent of that life. Right? So Earth in that sense is very much a living source to where the equivalence on a sentient level pertaining to these beings that can walk upright like we do, but they have different facial constructs and different constructs of body type, can again be traced back into the original origins of Earth with all the life that's been here for millions and millions and millions and millions of years, or billions of years. All right? That's the beautiful thing. Like I said, it's a lot to get into, but that's what I can share in a nutshell. So check out the video I have on my channel, Adronis, Giants of Meldak. You'll find that on my YouTube channel when you run a search. Okay? Thank you guys for all of your questions today. I had a really great time doing this broadcast with you today. Thank you for joining me in the meditation. Thank you for joining me with the healing. Thank you for, again, your feedback and your questions as well, too. So again, I will be back. There will be a new schedule next week. Okay, so New Earth Insights will be happening Thursday next week. Okay, not Tuesday, but Thursday next week will be New Earth Insights. Friday next week will be New Earth TV Live. Okay, New Earth Practices is no longer happening. This is why I'm kind of partially amalgamating New Earth Practices together with New Earth TV Live. Okay, but next Wednesday on Patreon, February 2nd, with the Patreon website, when you sign up for membership, you'll be able to be a part of the group Q&A session. Okay, so again, I'll be launching a launch video for Patreon early morning, February 1st, to tell you about it, to let you know it's live. You can go and sign up for one or both, for one membership or another membership. Like I said, the gold membership is the combination of everything that's in the silver membership, plus your participation with the group Q&A sessions. Okay, more information to come on that. Thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend, and I'll speak to you again in another perspective of the now. Take care and be well. Thank you very much for checking out the New Earth Teachings YouTube channel. Feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And you can check out the websites, newearthteachings.com, where you can order a private session, 3 questions by email, EQ method, and a lot more. And you can also check out healingcodecards.com, where you can grab your mind deck, your body deck, and of course the brand new Body Deck Special Edition. All of these are available in digital editions as well. And you can also get a shirt just like this through healingcodeshop.com, where you can experience the healing codes in apparel form. So feel free to check out these websites. Thank you so much, and I'll speak to you again in the next video. Be well.